Okay, example 12, also factored by grouping, same basic structure as the last one. We got 4 terms in no special order, right? What I want you to notice about this one though, before we start doing the whole factor by grouping thing, is 12, 16, 6, and 8 are all even. A cubed, A cubed, A cubed, A cubed, they all have A cubed in them. So there's a common factor of the whole entire problem before we even start factor by grouping. And I didn't even consider that on the last problem because I guess maybe as I looked at it mentally I could see there was no common factor. But always do consider the possibility of a common factor in the entire problem before you go about anything else. So there's a 2a cubed common factor. And if I extract 2a cubed from this term, I'm going to get 6xz. If I take a 2a cubed out of this term, I'm left with minus 8z. If I take a 2a cubed out of this, I get minus 3x squared y. And if I take a 2a cubed out of this, I'm left with plus 4xy. Now, the 2a cubed is part of the factored form for the rest of the problem. What's inside the brackets, then, we need to look and see, can I factor by grouping? And what I want you to notice about this that is different from the last problem, obviously there's bigger numbers and stuff like that, but the main difference here, and it's sometimes overlooked, is that third term being a minus sign. If I group the first two and group the second two, watch what happens. If I group these, nothing weird. All right? If I group these together, though, this minus distributes. So what's in color there is what represents what was there, right? Minus 3x squared y. It's still minus 3x squared y. This says plus 4xy, but now it's minus 4xy. So what I have to do is I have to change this to a negative sign. Anytime you do a grouping where the third term is negative, the first object in the group will be fine. The second object has to change sign because minus minus makes the plus that was originally there. And again, it's not obvious. To me, it's obvious because I've got my trained math eye going at it. But if you don't have that expectation of it, then it's easy to overlook. You put your group there, and all of a sudden things don't match up, and what happened? So just be careful that does happen occasionally where the third term is negative. So at this point, looking within the group here, I'm going to just move the 2a cubed down, just keep moving that down because it's part of the answer. The first group, what's the common factor? 2z. So take 2z out of that group, and I'm going to be left with 3x minus 4. The second group, the common factor is?
X.
Anything else?
Y, xy.
xy. All right, xy, if I take xy out, and notice it is negative xy, the minus sign's still there, so that's already been dealt with. So all you're dealing with is taking out the letters, or whatever's common. There's a 3x left here and a minus 4 left there. And again, what's inside the brackets represents what we saw in the last problem. So this is a term, this is a second term. Those two terms have 3x minus 4 in common. So my 2a cubed is still outside. I'm going to put a 3x minus 4 as a common binomial factor. And 2z minus xy is the remaining factor. Notice, again, this times this times this. 3x minus 4 was exactly the same. 2z and minus xy, whatever sign is here goes in between those two guys there to get us our final factored form. Once we've factored everything, we circle it up and that's it.